You know what I care about? What Harrison Butker said yesterday. Harrison Butker, Chiefs kicker, was on EWTN News. It is a Catholic news outlet. And Harrison Butker was asked basically a gun control question about the Super Bowl parade shooting. And you could not answer a question better than Harrison Butker did to this reporter.
I do want to ask, there is a debate in this country over the best way to curb gun violence. After being so close to it, any thoughts?
Yeah, I had to do a lot of thinking about what took place at the parade. I know gun violence was a big discussion, but at the end of the day, this is degenerate violence, and it should not be occurring. I think we need strong fathers in the home. I think we need men that are leading, that are setting good examples, that are teaching the young men in our society that violence is not the way to handle our disputes. It's very unfortunate what happened. Unfortunately, many, many children were injured. A beautiful young lady was killed over someone getting offended and turning to violence to handle that dispute. It's so sad. I don't think guns are the issue. I think we need fathers in the home that are being great examples for our youth.
Slow clap. Let's go! Woo! Harrison Butker. Now, this went viral yesterday. And can you believe I saw some sports media goobers in this town being like, here's Harrison Butker on his off-season conservative speaking tour. What's conservative about what he said? Harrison Butker just spit facts. That's what he did. Indisputable facts. See, the whole, grab your guns, folks, they don't really have any facts on their side. They just create this world where if only the government took all your guns, nobody would ever shoot each other, even though, there were illegal guns used at the Super Bowl parade that people were not legally allowed to have, and in some cases were being held by juveniles. But don't let that get in the way of their narrative. What Harrison Butker did is present facts that are indisputable. Heritage Foundation report, children without a father are more than twice as likely to be arrested for a juvenile crime and are 3 times more likely to go to jail by the time they reach 30 than are children raised in intact families. You think the average person realizes that data point, how important it is to have that father figure in a house? Especially, it's indisputable whether it's men or women, but especially when we talk about keeping young men out of lives of crime. That right there, what more do you need to hear? On top of that, according to the U.S. Census Bureau's report on income and poverty, this is back in 2014, children who are born in father-absent homes are more than 4 times more likely to suffer from poverty than children born in married homes. The report said 1 in 2 children from father-absent homes were impoverished, whereas 1 in 10 children from homes with married parents were in poverty, according to the report. If I told you that there was a way to result in your child being, let's say, 1 in 2 chance, 50% chance your kid ended up in poverty, and another way resulted in only a 10% chance in your child ending up in poverty, and I told you the only thing you had to do was be married and have a present father in the home, would you take your odds? Would you look to that as the possible answer instead of looking to the government for some other, shyster program? What would you do? The data is clear as day. I don't know how many times I can share it and how many different ways I can share it with you and how many different reports I can share with you. Another one here, less college, less work, and more prison for young men growing up without their biological fathers. That is from Institute for Family Studies. It's not about Harrison Butker getting on his conservative high horse, although we know he is very much a Catholic, a practicing Catholic. He is very much a pro-life person. He has worn that proudly on his sleeve. Not his jersey, by the way, on his personal sleeve in his private life. He's been more than willing to do that. And by the way, he's done it on his own time. And you have people in this town who the minute they get some commentary like that from Harrison Butker about how, basically, I love how he put it there, degenerate violence. I understand he can't do what I say and call it thugs, but degenerate violence is a pretty darn good use of that phrase. I like that. Degenerate violence. We need strong men in homes to show to these kids that violence is not the way, and have present fathers. That's not like a Republican talking point. It shouldn't be. Some people might view it that way. But that's just saying the data shows if we want to keep kids out of poverty, if we want to keep them out of, a life of crime, this is a great way to do it. Because what happens when you don't have a strong male figure, especially when you're a young boy? You're going to find it somewhere. You're going to find it on the streets. You're going to find it in schools. Hopefully you would find it in a church or something like that. But if you don't find it in the right places, you're going to find it in the wrong places. And if I told you that you could decrease your child's chance of ending up in jail or ending up getting arrested as a juvenile by 2-3 times by having a present father, would you do that? Or would you say, no, we need the government to do something about guns. That's what we really need. What would you do? What do you think the best play is? Harrison Butker saying what everybody should be saying in the wake of the Super Bowl parade shooting. And that is not political. Don't twist it. There's nothing political about what he said. The only people that think that's political are those who are upset he didn't say what they wanted him to say or what they wanted Patrick Mahomes to say or Travis Kelce to say. And that's preach about their little pet project of guns. So that is as good as it gets from Harrison Butker.